Hey guys, it's Rahim. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button because I talk about personal development, property investment, and how to gain financial freedom. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how I use my existing home to buy a house without putting any of my own money down. If you want to learn how you can start a scaling property investment without putting any of your own money down, this video is for you. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what equity is, how you can use your equity in your home to buy a lot more houses, and most importantly, what are the advantages and disadvantages using equity in building your property portfolio. Let me tell you something very alarming, right? We've done a research and we realized that 87% of the people that are watching my videos have not smashed that subscribe button. If you are one of those, I would really ask you to kindly smash that subscribe button, because if you do, it would help the algorithm to push our videos to a wider audience. It would help us educate people how to invest in property and ultimately gain financial freedom. Right, now we've got that out of the way, let's get to it. What is home equity? Home equity is the market value of a homeowner's unencumbered interest in their real property. That is the difference between the home's fair market value and the outstanding balance of all liens on the property. The property's equity increases as the debtor makes payment against the mortgage balance, or as the property value appreciates. So in essence, is the process by which a homeowner would buy a house, pay the interest plus repayment whilst the property value goes up. So whatever the differences are from the loan and the current fair market value is what we call equity. I will then move on to the board so I can show you an example of how this may look like. Now we know what equity is, let's walk through an example of how you could utilize equity and understand how much equity you have in your property before you even start thinking about using it. Let's get to the board. Let's look at it this way. Suppose then we've got a property, we bought this property, let's say about a couple of years or maybe 3 years ago, and that property worth 400,000. Let's say it was 400,000, okay? That's how much we bought it a couple of years ago, 400,000, okay? 400,000 was the value of the property at the time we bought it. Let's say then, during those 4 years, we've paid our mortgage and we have an outstanding mortgage of, let's say, £200,000. Okay, so that is what we've got outstanding with the bank, and that's what we're paying interest on. Okay, let's say because we've got the property for a very long time and we somehow maybe took a loan, a secured loan against the property. Let's say we had a secured loan, let's say of maybe £10,000. Okay, so £10,000 is our secured loan. So in total, our total outstanding you get the gist, okay, would be £210,000. Okay, £210,000 is what we've got outstanding with the bank. This includes obviously our outstanding mortgage and a loan we've taken to spend or do whatever we do. Okay, let's say now that property worth the 400,000, right? We know the property is 400,000, right? So what this happens is 400,000, okay, would be minus your £210,000, which is the debt and your mortgage, outstanding mortgage. Okay, that's £210,000. So if you minus £210,000 from your £400,000, that gives you how much? £190,000. So this £190,000 is what we call your equity. This is the equity you would have made for owning the property for the past few years. So in essence, that is the amount you could use either to borrow as you did previously or to use to go and buy more properties. So I hope this is making sense. If you've got a property, think about this, think about it this way. Have you got an outstanding mortgage? Do you have any other loan on top of your mortgage? If you haven't got any outstanding loan on top of your mortgage, at that point, you would have had 200,000. So if you minus that 200,000 from the 400,000, you'd have got 200,000 pounds. So in the next example, I'm going to show you how you can use this equity itself to buy yourself a property portfolio that's worth about 600,000 pounds. Let's get to the next page. Okay, let's now say we've got a property and we've bought this property 5 years ago for 300,000 pounds. So we bought it, purchase price 300,000 5 years ago. 5 years ago, okay? So that's how much we bought the property. So when we bought that property 5 years ago, we would have put down a deposit of 25% to buy the property at that price. So the deposit would have been 25% of the 300,000 pounds, which would have been 75,000 pounds. So 75,000 is what we've put down in order to be able to buy that property. And the bank would have lent us 75% of the 300,000 pounds, which would have been our loan. That would have been 225,000 pounds. 225,000 pounds is how much the bank would have lent us in order to be able to buy that house, adding our deposit in. Let's say during that 5 years, we would have paid interest and obviously repayment of the property or of your home in this case. Let's say you would have paid about 24,000 pounds within the 5 years. Repayment. £24,000. If we contributed £24,000 towards paying down the mortgage, our outstanding balance at that point would have been £201,000. Okay, I hope I got my figures right. So you would have had an outstanding mortgage of £201,000. So basically, this is the amount your mortgage would have gone down, because you would have paid your interest plus £24,000 in order to own the property outright. Fast forward to 5 years from when we bought that property. Suppose now we've held on to the property for the past 5 years, and property prices went up only by 10% every single year. The same property you bought for £300,000 will now worth £484,000. That's how much that property would have worth if the property prices goes up only by 10%. So what we're going to do at that point, because we know the property price has gone up significantly, what we wanted at that point, we want to look at our equity. If you've got enough equity in order to remortgage, so we can use our equity. So now at that point, if we approach the bank would come and value the property. Hopefully they come back at £484,000, and the bank will then lend you 75% of the £484,000, which would have been £363,000. So in essence, we have £363,000 that the bank would actually lend us based on the property value, the £484,000. So at that point then, once we know we may be able to get that money, what we're going to do at that point is to look for our existing loan. We know our existing loan here, our outstanding mortgage balance is £201,000. So what we're going to do at that point then, when we're remortgaging, the first thing we need to do once we've received that money, right, is to pay the existing loan, our existing lender, in order to exit that product. Is that making sense? So therefore, if you minus £201,000 from £363,000, it would give us £162,000. So in essence, by buying the property 5 years ago, sitting on it as a home, maybe lovely home, and you're loving living in that property, you'll be in that property whilst the property price is going up by 10% every single year. That same property would have worth that amount, and what you'd have done at that point is to remortgage that property at that point, get that 75%, you pay your existing loan, and then that gives you the £162,000. So the £162,000 is what we need to invest wisely in order to get a serious return on investment that will not just able to pay the interest on top of that loan, but also enable us to become financially independent, which is what I'm going to share next. As we now have £162,000, right? So what we're going to do then, basically, we're going to go onto the market and look for properties. So with that £162,000, we are in a better position, and we can use this money to go and look for properties. So if you're really clever, we're gonna go look for properties that worth £100,000. So with properties worth £100,000, this £162,000 would allow us to be able to buy 6 properties. Because if we're buying 6 properties, we would only need 25% to put down in order to buy those properties. So if you're buying 6 properties at 25,000 times 6, that will give us £150,000. So we've got the £150,000, and we would use the remainder of the £12,000. Perhaps maybe we need to paint and decorate the house, set it up nicely in order to be able to rent it. So as you can see at this point then, we can use that money we've got here to be able to buy 6 property, and we've got £12,000 left over to renovate the property or to paint and decorate it. As you can see here, from having one property at 300,000, right, sat on it for 5 years, it was 484,000. We remortgage, pull some of the investment out so that we can go and buy houses. There are so many property owners that are really sitting on a gold mine without realizing. You've now accumulated 6 properties, okay, that worth £100,000 each. So if we times that by 6, you have a property portfolio of £600,000. Suppose then each of these properties generates you about, let's say, £400 per month. That would be £2,400 per calendar month. This is what we call passive recurring income. This is the money you make without doing anything, only by using clever strategies in order to use your equity from your property to start investing. So you're making £24,000. If you times that by 12, you are on £28,800 from only using the equity in your property. And that money you make here is more than enough to pay any additional income you would have incurred to get the additional borrowing. Here's the thing. There are pros and cons of doing this. The cons are perhaps you may not be able to buy the 6 properties with that amount, and also your interest rate would go up because you are borrowing more money in order to be able to make this. And perhaps probably another disadvantage is that your property may not be valued 10% every single year. It may be 8, 9, or maybe 15%. It depends. It fluctuates. So that figure may be higher, or it could also be lower. The massive advantage of this, you're able to buy 6 properties without going out there looking for investors, because you've got your equity, you've used that equity to buy those properties, and buying those 6 properties would help you achieve 2 of the following. It helps you achieve what we call capital appreciation and also cash flow, which is your rental income. Capital appreciation, remember when you bought your property, it went up 10% every single year. The same thing applies to the 6 properties that you would have bought as well. As well as the beauty of it, as opposed to your home where you're living, you're not making any money from it. But with those properties, these 6 properties, you're able to actually make money from those properties every single month by renting it to individuals. Suppose these 6 properties you've bought went up by 10% per year, you would have not just have a £600,000 property portfolio And in a year's time, your 600,000 portfolio would have been 660,000 pounds, which would have been a capital appreciation of 60,000 pounds. And you can go again, buy another house. You go again, buy another house. By the time you think about it, you are now a property millionaire. If this video has been helpful and you want to learn how to implement things like this, I would like to invite you to a very special event. In this event, I'm going to share with how you can start with little to none of your own money and able to recycle all your money out. And plus, you will learn how to take over properties that you don't even own that will generate you over £15,000 a year. So don't leave it to chance. If you're interested, click the link below and book yourself for our free webinars, completely free of charge, to learn how you can start and scale in properties. Well, I have to admit we have limited number of spaces, but if you do, click on that link now, reserve your spot. I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Thank you.